This is Grace. I hope you are doing great. Last episode, we talked about going through difficult time. In this episode, I want to talk about avoid moral failure. Have you ever been called funny names that you didn't like? Have you ever been repeatedly laughed at by someone, or a group of kids, or a gang in your class, in a way that make you sad? What about repeated threats and even physical abuse by someone for some reason? Yeah, it is all about bullying. Well, according to many studies, it is estimated that about 20% of all kids are bullied in school at any time, and about half of people have experienced bullied in streets or at work in any parts of the world, and people do bullying for many reasons. So, the question here is, what is the moral failure? Well, the simple answer is the moral failure is an act or thought that is carried out when one knows that one should not carry it out. I have experience with bullying. I still remember when I was in a grade 4, I've been bullied by friends at school. Like they always judge me every time they look at me. And at the time, I felt so down. I felt like no one liked to make friends with me. And no one should feel that way, the same as I do. Because that is the most painful feeling, right? Well, in fact, bullying behavior may occur for many reasons, such as imitating their parents, taking revenge, watching violent movies, and so on. In my opinion, the best way to stop bullying is to preach to the people, especially teenagers or adolescents, that bullying is an acceptable behavior, not only in society but in religion too. That means it is a moral failure. Well, if you are wondering what's on my mind when the first time I heard about moral failure, let me tell you. In my opinion, the biggest moral crisis or moral failure is about selfishness. Most of us, including me, sometimes we try so hard to be self-centered. Self-centered. All we think about is me, myself, and I. Am I right? We don't care for others. And sometimes, even when we try to feel like we care for others, is guided by our point of view. I mean, like, I personally am making a difference. We are more concerned about being cool, being trendy, being free thinking, or being able not to be like this type of people. But sometimes, our compassion is led by the way we see, the way we want the world to be, and not by what other people needs. We usually think if we are great, we are able to do a great thing. But in that way, we continue to put ourselves higher than others. So we should stop being selfish. Stop building our egos. Stop thinking that we know it all and have the right way. Stop being self-centered because our selfishness is ripping this world apart and each one of us is to blame. Well, the association is one of the factors that can lead to the moral failure, especially in adolescence. For instance, someone who hangs out with friends who behave badly will be dragged into the following bad behavior of his friend. If we, as adolescents, continue to experience the moral failure, it will harm ourselves, such as the unclear future, shunned by friends, disharmony in the family, mental poverty, and others. Unfortunately, we cannot perfectly avoid it, but we are able to minimize it, but not to focusing too much on the negative things. that usually can lead us to do it. Moreover, there are many things to prevent the moral failure. As adolescents, we should listen to more advice and motivation from family, teachers, and friends to encourage us to get a better relationships. We should be able to limit ourselves from the negative things which are included in juvenile delinquency and focus on positive things so that the moral failure can be avoided. Therefore, the environment is the main factor in influencing the person's behavior. Moreover, I'm sure that most of us have experience with the moral failure, whether intentionally or not. In short, that's okay as long as we are willing to learn from our failure and make it a guide for behaving better. Because failure is the most important source of learning, right? And failing is help us to tune our sense of balance. We will consider the possibility the moral failure may occur or not. Well, as Ellen White once said, that the great moral powers of the soul are hope, faith, and love. It's grace. Thank you.